Oh, come on, Wi-Fi. Okay. Hey, you guys. Hang on, I'm going to share this in another page. One second, one second. Bear with me. It is a lovely day outside. I'm sitting out on my patio, and I actually want to tag my husband in this because this is one of his favorite topics. Let's see. Here we go. Sharing this to my own timeline. Let me tag my husband because he'll be thrilled. Okay. Okay. Here we go. All right. So I want to talk today, not really about trophies, but I do want to talk about self-esteem. Self-esteem in your kids. There's something going on in society as a whole. There's a lot of things going on in society as a whole, but this one in particular is actually really damaging to your kids' self-esteem. And there's this new trend. I don't want to say it's a new trend because it's been around for a while of like everybody getting a trophy. We're overpraising our children. And while this all seems well and good, it's actually very damaging to them. And I'm going to explain why. Because it seems like we can't get away from this. And it's really, really important that we do. So instead of waiting for it to happen, we're going to actively just make it happen. So if you want your kid to have high self-esteem, if your kid, as I've been talking about, is a perfectionist kid, there's a chance that all this anxiety, this concern, this worry, this stress that they're having is impacting their self-esteem. And it might be really easy to think, well, let me just shower them with praise and they'll feel better about themselves, right? Like that's a very, I don't know, kind of off the top of your head solution, right? I've done it. I know a lot of people that have done it too. And somehow it's not working, right? It's not solving the problem. If you're feeling down about yourself, and someone just comes along and just like compliments you, it might feel nice in the moment, but it doesn't actually address the feeling that you're having and the problem that you're struggling with. As we are raising our kids, of course, we want to give them the tools to live these happy, successful lives. We want to equip them with the things that we need, and that means that we also need to help them with our self-esteem. Hi, thanks for watching. People with high self-esteem, this is a valuable quality, right? People with high self-esteem, they like themselves better. They believe that they're capable. They believe that they're worthy. And as a result of all this, they're going to make better choices, right? They're going to be more resilient in the face of adversity. They're going to push harder to reach their goals. They're just more likely to be happy and successful and emotionally healthy in the long run. Okay, so this is a really, really important factor. If you've ever yourself struggled with low self-esteem, I've been there. It kind of sucks, and that it's happening, but this could even help you. You may not know why it's happening, and you may not know why it's happening in your kids. So the common misconception is that let's just give our kids tons of praise. And I'm using the trophy example because it does translate. We want to help them feel better, so just, I don't know, out of instinct maybe, we just want to say nice things to them. And there's nothing wrong with that, but there is a point where you're overdoing it, and a point where it's not actually appropriate and it's not actually helping them. So I want to teach you guys how to do this sparingly and in the right way so that it actually works for you and you're not just spinning your wheels about what do I do with my kid? What do I do with my kid? Hey, Natalie. Overpraising your kid. What does that mean? It means saying oh my gosh, that was perfect, or you're the best artist in the whole world, or you were perfect at that. You're the best at that. Saying those really loaded words of perfect and the best, it actually does more harm than good. Overpraising our kids, it actually lowers the bar, because if they're hearing that they're the best at everything, they might never push themselves. Well, I'm already the best. Why should I try harder? Right? This real lasting confidence that we want them to have comes from trying and failing and making that progress that they actually earned. If they're already the best, why would they try? And I know that this is hard to watch. I know that it's hard to watch your kids struggle and fail and get upset and be sad about it and be frustrated and be disappointed in themselves. Like, I know it. Like, I watch it every day. My kid's trying to tie his shoes, or he's trying to play Mario Kart, and if he doesn't get first place, like, it's a meltdown, right? And we're working on it, but this is what I'm talking about, like the anxiety that comes with not being the best because you think you're the best, or you think you should be the best, that pressure that they can put on themselves, it's detrimental. And it's also, thanks, Natalie. Well, I'm working on it. We're all a work in progress, right? We're all learning. We're all trying. We all want to be really great parents, right? Like, it is our goal. It's not like we're trying to mess anybody up on purpose. We're going to make mistakes too. It's okay. All right. You're learning. They're learning. It's important that your kids actually see you make mistakes too. Okay. So you don't want to overpraise them. You also want to be praising them genuinely. Do you really mean it? Is that something that you would say to your spouse? Is that something you would say to a friend? Right? We don't want to fake praise, because their kids are smarter than we think, right? They actually catch on to this. Kids like 7 and under tend to take things at face value, right? Like, if you say you're doing great, they're gonna be like, yeah, I'm doing great. But older kids are actually a little more suspicious of excessive praise. Like, they catch on to this. They start to notice because they're aware of their own abilities. They can see themselves compared to other people, and they know if you're just kind of like bullshitting them. I'll just call a spade. They do. So I was researching about this, some scientific studies. Excessive praise from a teacher, kids interpret that as actually a sign of performing poorly, because they might see the teacher showering this praise on a kid that isn't doing so well, and she's using it, or he's using it, as encouragement to the kid that's struggling, but it actually comes across as fake. So if you're drowning somebody in praise, they're going to start to see that as like, oh, that's just a way for you to encourage me. You're not actually telling me that I'm doing a good job. You're actually telling me that I'm doing a crappy job. So the message gets mixed. There was also a report that this instant patronizing, it comes across as patronizing. I think probably 95% of people don't mean to be patronizing, but it comes across that way because people can tell if you're insincere, okay? And kids, will cut right to the chase. They don't know how to lie. They will just straight up tell you to your face, like, what they think. So let's see, where was I? Where's my study here? Oh, insincere praise can also make them feel like you feel sorry for them, right? Or you're manipulating them, or you just straight up don't understand them. Okay. So it's really important that we say the right things. So we want to encourage them, right? Like, we really do. But if they're viewing it as a sign of failure, then it's not working. Okay. So we got to do something different. Instead, you want to give your kid praise for genuine achievements. I can tell you're working really hard. I can tell that you're trying your best. I can tell that you've been really practicing, and I can tell that you're getting better, right? All of those things are really encouraging, but they're not putting them at the top. They're not putting them on a pedestal. They're not telling them things that aren't true, okay? And you can say, I can tell you're trying really hard. That doesn't say you're great, you're doing a great job. Okay, it's very different. So just choose your words carefully. Kids are also more likely to doubt this general praise or this sweeping praise, or exaggerating, like I was saying, like, oh, you're the best in the world, or you're just amazing at everything. Like, if someone said that to me, I'd be like, yeah, okay, right? You can be much more specific. All right, it's an easy change to the thing that you want to say. Just get more specific. So instead of saying you were the best artist in the world, you could say something like, you're getting so good at coloring in the lines, right? Or this is a beautiful flower. Okay, you can still send compliments. There's nothing wrong with that. Of course, we think our kids are the best, right? And they are. They really, truly are. But we've got to be really intentional about this. And we've got to think about what we're saying without just dumping it out there, without really considering the impact that it's got. We want them to know that we really mean it. And that's going to grow their trust in us. And it's going to grow their trust in themselves, right? If self-esteem were like a 3-part recipe, it would be competence, acceptance, and love. Those 3 kind of mixed together for self-esteem, okay? So your kid is he or she needs to feel competent at something. And that means they're going to have to work for it. And that's not always fun to watch and witness, because if you're like me, like, I don't want my kid to have to like suffer at all for anything. But if I prevent him from doing that, if I prevent him from experiencing pain in his life, he's not going to grow. He's not going to learn anything. He's not going to overcome anything for himself. And the only way for you to get that sense of accomplishment, and the only way for you to get that sense of, oh my gosh, I did it, is to what? Is to overcome adversity. There is no other way. So you've got to let your kids fail. Sports teams, you've got to let your kids not get trophies for everything. You've got to allow them to experience that sense of loss and failure so that they can go out there and try harder the next time. That's life, right? You want to help them feel competent, give them age-appropriate activities, give them age-appropriate words, compliments, praise, okay? You want to give them acceptance, showing them that their mistakes and their struggles do not affect your love for them. Obvious, right? But they may not pick up on that. And then top it off with love. Your love is not conditional. You're going to love them no matter what. Of course you are. But when you criticize them, criticize very gently. Again, choose your words. It's all about the words. Okay? So pretty simple steps. But it's going to make a major, major impact. Allowing them to fail, allowing them to have those moments of, oh my gosh, I didn't do a good job, okay? And then reframing that into, okay, not the end of the world. What can we do better next time? How can we improve? Because that's life, right? We're not going to be the best at everything. We don't get to be the best at everything until we put in the work, until we put in the time, until we struggle and fall on our face who knows how many times, okay? It's easier to let them learn this now than it is when they're 18 going off to college and suddenly get hit in the face with it, or they get fired from their first job because they think everything's been given to them. So it's worth it now. Just like it's worth, what did they tell us? Discipline, timeouts, routine, saying no to your kids. It's easier. It might not be fun, but it's easier when they're younger than it is when they're like a teenager. So go ahead and do it now. They might not like it, but it's going to pay off. If this is something that your kid struggles with, if they struggle with that self-esteem, if they struggle with anxiety and stress and people pleasing and just those behaviors that are it feels challenging to get a grasp on those. Like, how do I fix this? How do I help my kid? I actually made something for you, and it's this activity book. It's called Celebrate Your Mistakes. It's full of resources for you as a parent, and it's full of coloring pages and exercises and activities for your kids that help them understand why mistakes and messes can actually be fun. They can actually be really great, and it's going to help you implement this concept of growth mindset, which is going through the failures, learning to make mistakes, using them to your benefit, and showing you exactly what to do and why it works. It really, really does. I'm using them on my own house. And it helps you and your kids apply these concepts in a very, very tangible way so that the lesson sinks in and you can apply them over and over. And the really great part is once you learn them, like, you can just repeat them for the rest of your life. The more you use it, the faster it works. And so inside, I've been putting this together because in my own house, we've been experiencing low self-esteem. perfectionism, anxiety, stress, all of these things, having meltdowns in class. And it occurred to me that like my kid doesn't know that mistakes are okay. Mistakes are not something to avoid, and somehow he's been communicated to through me, through whatever, that it's not okay to make mistakes. We don't want to make mistakes. If we make mistakes, like the world is over and everything comes crashing down, right? That's not the message I want him to have. That's the opposite of what I want him to have. So I created this book. And it's helping us, and so I want it to help you guys, for your kids to have more confidence, for them to be more resilient, for them to take more risks, to decrease their stress, which leads to depression, and craft better relationships and try new things and all kinds of stuff that they need to get by in this world. Really, really important skills that there's not a lot out there that's teaching us, I've noticed, because I've been looking. So there's coloring pages, there's goal setting, there's problems, mistakes, messes, how to deal with this, how to effectively solve all those things, games, confidence builders, and tons more. So I'm really excited about it. There's already people snatching it up. It's actually, we're doing a pre-order sale right now. You can get it for $5 off. I'll put the link in the comments, but you can go to my website, erinKmonahan.com, go to the little shop button at the top, and it's the little drop down. It says celebrate your mistakes. And there's a ton more details there. It shares a lot. There's pictures about what the book looks like. And this is all stuff that I'm testing here in my own house to make sure that it works. It's kind of an ongoing experiment, so it's been really fun. But I want my kid to feel like he can be free to grow into the person that he's meant to be. And if that's happening here, I know it's happening in a lot of other homes everywhere. Everybody I've talked to is like, oh, yep, that's me too. So this is necessary. This is needed. I want to give you guys a tool that you can use and implement in your own home, like right away. So it's for pre-sale now. It's going to be a digital download, so you can instantly download it right to your computer and print it out at home. So go check out the link. I'll put it below, and you guys can get $5 off until April 1st, and then it'll go up to regular price. So let me know if you have any questions. Thank you guys for watching. And if you have any ideas, let me know. Like, there's stuff I can put in the book. It's not done yet, so shout them out. Don't be afraid. All right? Thank you guys, and we're going to actually talk about more of this tomorrow. So come back. I'll have more for you and stuff that you can implement at home right away. All right? Have a great one. Bye.